Is John Conrad the greatest man I ever served with? Well, I don't know. There was this one time in Kabul when he dragged my bleeding carcass half a mile to an evac chopper. So maybe I'm biased. But the facts don't lie. The man's a fucking hero. Remember when the first storms hit Dubai? You're probably all safe and sound at home watching TV. Well, Conrad was leading the damn 33rd out of Afghanistan. Instead of coming home, he volunteered his entire battalion to help with the evac. But all you did was send a check. Rumor is Conrad was ordered to abandon the city. He defied that order, and the 33rd stood with him. Now, the official story's still hazy about what happened next. All we know for sure is that the storms got worse. Much worse. Last thing we heard out of Dubai was that Conrad was leading a caravan of survivors out of the city. That was 6 months ago. Then, 2 weeks ago, we picked up this transmission.
This is Colonel John Conrad, United States Army. The evacuation of Dubai ended in complete failure. Death toll, too many.
This is Spec Ops The Line, a game that has developed a cult following over the years. It's a game that, despite having a fairly generic third-person shooter gameplay, it managed to break out of that mold and be known for its story. A military shooter with more than just dude bro characters, fantastic sound design, and great voice acting. It was because of multiple video essays that got about the game that got me to pick it up and play it. All of them were good videos, and they all drew me into playing the game. But alas, I wasn't ready for the journey. Despite knowing every turn the game had, it still brought me in and immersed me into the story. Honestly, I want to attribute this to the story itself. I'm not gonna lie, I personally love a fun military story. And the voice acting. The whole squad has their own personality, and the voice acting with the great writing makes the times when these characters have their clashes or struggles, it just makes me want to save these men. So most of these videos do kind of a moment to moment talk through, and I'm going to do the same, but I want to paint a little bit of a picture. So strap in, get your cloaks ready.
Gentlemen, welcome to Dubai.
There will be full spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled, especially on the ending, don't watch towards the end of the video. If you refuse to play a game after spoilers, stop watching and go play the game and then come back. If you don't care, watch the whole thing and then go play the game yourself. I highly encourage you to do so. Before we jump into it, could you drop a like as that helps the video a lot, and leave a comment on what you think about Spec Ops if you know anything about it. And you could subscribe if you're a chill guy. Before we even jump into the game, you're greeted with the national anthem playing on a speaker. It's a Jimi Hendrix guitar rendition. And fun fact I learned while making this video, this and another song got the games delisted off of every store, meaning the only way to play the game now is to pirate it, which is really a shame. This game is incredible, and if you can acquire a legal copy, do so. And if not, sail the seas, brother. This game is meant to be played and deeper than the veneer that it gives off. I think this is one of the go-to examples that you can point out of a game being art. The guitar screeching as if it's on its last legs, the flags upside down representing distress. Before you even get into the game, you're hit with heavy symbolism that you won't even know how powerful it is until the journey is over. Another fun fact about the menu is that it kind of rewards you of doing multiple sessions. It changes multiple times at different stages throughout the game, deteriorating as the situation gets worse through the story. It's little details like these that show that they had more intention and more care about the game than the average military shooter of the time. So when you first start the campaign, it launches into a popular trope of the time, which is to start you in the middle of the story, usually a high action moment, and in this instance it's flying a scrap metal helicopter through Dubai right before a sandstorm hits. So honestly, I might be schizo though. I went back and watched my gameplay. This perfectly fine Black Hawk, I don't know why it was a scrap copter, but the game really puts you into the thick of it. Now, I thought about putting in the meme song, but I don't want it saved to my computer. We get clipped by another helicopter and crash, but before the crash happens, you cuts to black and it really starts. Before we go any further though, I would like to mention the fact that the lead writer of the game kind of mentioned that after this helicopter crash, Walker died, and everything is kind of a purgatory state, post this. So with that factoid in mind, I mean, technically none of this game matters, but it doesn't really confirm that to you. It's the lead writer saying that's what he thinks should happen. That kind of puts the game into a weird place with that in mind, but I think we can kind of continue on and move forward and work around this. The game starts with our main character, Captain Martin Walker, voiced by Nolan North, recounting a time in Kabul where he was saved by a man named John Conrad. This day, John Conrad became his hero. He was deployed to Dubai before the first storm, and when the first storm hit, he defied his orders and his company stayed with him. They were determined to save the people of Dubai. The last transmission was 6 months prior to the game's start. The evacuation was a complete failure, and we were sent in to see what's up. Our Delta Team squad is composed of Captain Walker, Lieutenant Adams, and Sergeant Lugo. And why are they there?
What mission? We're basically poking a dead dog with a stick.
We have our orders. Locate survivors, leave the city immediately. Radio command from outside the storm wall. Send in the cavalry, and go home.
Well, this quickly turns into a rescue mission, not just a recon mission. You find a wrecked Humvee with a recently killed Marine and a member of the damn 33rd, the people you came to recon for. It also had a distress beacon that was made from spare parts that is important in foreshadowing. You very quickly or slowly get into a fight with the locals, and regardless of if you shoot first, they will turn hostile. So shoot the sand down. This is an introduction to the mechanic of decisions. Now, to be honest, some of the decisions don't matter because they lead to the same outcome, kind of like this one. The locals are always going to die. You can't talk them down. This isn't always the case, however. I want to make 2 notes at this point. 1, this is also the time where the game shows you can use your environment to your advantage. And 2, Adams is telling you to shoot the glass, and it is Lugo who speaks Farsi and tries to talk peace with them. But these people aren't too keen to make peace with the Americans, and we'll get to that. At this point, it was when the mission changed from recon to rescue, and that was a decision that Walker had made. As you're walking to the encounter we just talked about, Lugo asks an important question.
What the fuck are we doing here?
Lugo's got a point.
Oh, you taking his side now?
When he's right, he's right.
Hey, command wants us to look around, we look around.
I don't know. Sounds like a waste of 3 stone-cold, ruggedly handsome Delta operators such as ourselves.
Think of it as a paid vacation.
Well, for future reference, I prefer my beaches with a 3-to-1 sexy lady dead body ratio. No, I do not, sir. I find it messes with my rhythm.
Well, that's a good question. Delta Force in real life is the elite of the American military. They're sent on the most dangerous of missions, so why are they just doing recon? Well, Walker has different ideas as to why they should continue to be there. They move on fighting through more locals, leading to this moment.
The hell was that?
I'm picking up a distress call.
Patch it through.
33rd Dispatch, this is Alpha Patrol. We're under attack. Repeat, the insurgents have us surrounded. Request immediate assistance. Shit! Markson's down! We need backup!
This call for help against insurgents, now it's kind of missable, but this is specific language, but we will circle back to this. Just note things like this. And it's not a mistake or a hasty choice of words. Anyways, this call for help gives Walker justification for killing those locals and any locals to getting to these men. This is his new mission. This is the point that the game points out to you that some guns have alternate fire modes, the M4 having a suppressor, and, you know, if he has a scope, the alternate fire mode being usually just scoping in, but we'll come to more of those as we pick up more weapons. The man you're trying to save is in the fuselage up ahead, and as you work your way through the mid to where the soldiers are held, they end up being held hostage and one immediately gets capped. The other is held at gunpoint, and they tell you that if you move, he will be shot. You can kill them before they execute the second hostage, and if you're too slow, I assume he just gets shot in the head. He's already been fatally wounded though, and he tells you you need to find a man named McPherson. They took him to a location called The Nest. Ooh, a mysterious and foreboding place in hell-ridden Dubai. Ooh.
We will, but I need you to tell me where they took him.
They took him to the nest.
Nest, alright, good. And what about Conrad? Is he still alive? God damn it. Lugo, mark the bodies on tack. Adam.
He died before you could tell you if Conrad is alive or not, though. The following cutscene is really interesting, and I'm just going to let it play out.
Not to argue, but this ain't exactly within our mission parameters.
Yeah, well, our mission went from recon to rescue the minute we found U.S. soldiers butchered.
Bucking orders. I like it.
Orders ain't worth following if it means leaving people to die, Lugo. Conrad's still alive. I think he is. I know he'd agree with me.
Let's just analyze a couple of things Walker says during this cutscene. After seeing the soldiers killed, Walker wanted to be like his hero Conrad. He wanted to save the day and return a favor to an old friend. Our mission went from recon to rescue the moment we found US soldiers butchered. Orders ain't worth following if it means leaving people to die, something Walker said. And this is why Conrad didn't leave, and why Walker too is disobeying orders. Now, the first combat section of this chapter, I just kind of want to stop and smell the flowers, if you will. Notice that even just outside of the building, the music inside, whatever this place is still audible. And once inside, it's so loud that Lugo has to make a joke and point out, do you guys hear the music? This game kind of reads your mind at times. You'll notice that as you go through this game, it slowly deconstructs the aspects of what made a typical 2012 military shooter at the time. And I'll continue to point out more of these as we go. Lugo, being the tech guy, noticed that it's the speakers that, like the distress signal, are made out of scrap. Also, the painting in this room is very striking. It's symbolic of someone being dead or former personality being stripped away to bone. You see the words scribbled on the wall, too many lies, water please, God show mercy. So much suffering has happened here that the people felt no other way to express their anguish. Continuing on, we hear a distinct voice through one of the sets of makeshift speakers. He acts like he's on the radio. He speaks that a ceasefire has been breached and that the insurgents that want to surrender need to head to an outpost for processing. And I think I'm going to agree with Lugo and Adams on this one. We continue to slaughter more insurgents, working our way to where the 33rd presumably is. And I don't know how the American army got wiped out when a man with a suppressed M9 Beretta can just murk a whole army of insurgents. We later on get ambushed by more insurgents, and the music just starts playing again. And I don't know what it is, but it's this contrasting, happy sounds of the music to the little gunfight going on, but it just sets this eerie feeling. So something I've neglected to mention is that your squad is talking the whole time. They're communicating what the enemy is doing, their thoughts. If Lugo sees a sword coming, he'll say this. The ground caves in below us and we fall into this building. And like what Dubai is known for, every building we'll be inside is just filled with this opulence and beauties, unless it's like one of the shanty towns. But it really is a shame all this cool and beautiful stuff was just built on the back of slave labor and in the desert. Adam makes a good point here saying,
You should try talking to these guys again. I mean, we did come here to save them.
Man, we are way past that point. These people don't want to talk, they're out for blood.
Lugo's right. Best we can do is get out of here and find the 33rd before these people tear them apart.
Okay, shoot first, questions later. Got it.
We find Conrad, he'll answer our questions.
This is a swapping of the roles from earlier. Lugo wanted to make peace and Adams was ready to fight. Now Adams is trying to make peace and Lugo is saying there's no point, they're out for blood. Walker's still wanting to be the hero, saying that doesn't matter, let's just save the 33rd, find Conrad, and he will answer our questions. He truly believes Conrad is still alive, and at this point he would still be a reasonable person. We are then brought to this cutscene.
Someone's coming.
Quick, hide.
Dropping C4? What were you thinking?
They were dug in, sir. We didn't have many options.
You're lucky this whole place didn't collapse. Where's the soldier? The one we took from the plane?
Downstairs, sir.
Is he being guarded?
At all times.
Good. Think I'll go say hi.
Agent Custody. Wait.
What?
He won't talk, sir.
He'll talk to me.
Walker, that guy was American.
Yeah, I noticed.
Why are the locals taking orders from an American? And why's he got a hard-on for the 33rd?
I have no idea. Shit. Ask him yourself.
They're still alive. Take care of them.
This cutscene raises a bunch of questions. Who is this white boy? And what is white boy doing in Dubai during white boy summer? And why is he helping insurgents against the 33rd? Questions that will be eventually answered. We have a shootout with people that he was talking to, and once we finish them all off, we move on to chapter 4. And it's called Refugees. It obviously starts us off in a refugee camp. Little kids' drawings everywhere, and as Walker puts it, they were surviving and probably been this way since the first storm. We eventually find an execution area where soldiers were executed. Lugo noticing this and explicitly pointing it out. Now immediately after, we find our way to the 33rd soldier he was in mid-interrogation of, he being our unknown white boy. The interrogator wants to know how many men are at the water station. The 33rd are considered rogue, and the CIA stirred up the locals and had them killing soldiers. The man being tortured kills the CIA spook once we provide a distraction. He is skeptical of us because he thinks we are with the CIA spook. His name is McPherson, and he is the man we've been searching for. We tell him that the man who told us about him didn't survive, and he said he wasn't surprised, but it's almost implying that we had something to do with it. I let him live, but you can kill him. This is one of those times where it speaks to what kind of player you are. We come upon an op for the CIA hiding behind the civilians. So since I've been playing the game, there are some intels missing, and this is where I found my first one this playthrough, and they usually provide background on what happened before we arrived. This note essentially sets out the situation in Dubai was FUBAR, and that the CIA is going to tell them that they have to do something they don't want to do.
As originally reported upon first arrival, situation in Dubai dismal. That's an understatement. Civilians have turned into vultures. Stealing, rioting. Hell, I saw a man gutted over a can of soda. It's a mess here. Soldiers trying to keep martial law, only making it worse. No way to radio HQ from inside the storm wall. Agent Daniels has left the OZ to report our findings and receive further instructions. Langley's not going to like what we have to say. Got a feeling they'll return the favor.
The outcome of killing or letting him live from the man in the previous room is the same. The men start shooting at you on sight. Now, letting him live, you will catch him running back to his buddies telling him that we work for the CIA. And this makes sense as to why they would shoot us on sight. Adams mentions that he is struggling with shooting American soldiers. Walker says it's self-defense, they shot at them first. And Adams retorts with, it doesn't make it feel any better. Walker says it's not supposed to. Both Lugo and Adams urge Walker to try to not shoot in the next encounter. And Walker says, if we don't shoot, they will kill us. Now, I know this is an action video game, but the story could have been completely changed had they even tried to communicate once with just a single guy. And I say that, but Lugo actually tried to. He tried yelling to them. And I mean, I guess in this instance, Walker's kind of right. Now, in most games, what I do here next would actually just be a game over screen. And you can even see in my gameplay, I kind of hesitated afterwards thinking the game would restart. Then it just sat with me. I executed this lady not on purpose, but because I was expecting an enemy and she was just there and I reacted. And I think it's neat that the game doesn't handhold or comment on it. You're just left to know that you did it and how shitty of a situation that is. So I'm just going to take a moment here and talk about the gameplay. The HUD is fairly minimalistic, allowing you to immerse yourself fairly easily, especially when you turn off the HUD elements completely altogether. This game came out during the 7th generation, so if it was a third-person shooter, it either tried to copy Gears of War or Resident Evil. This game, gameplay-wise, is lesser than Gears of War, but it's serviceable, and it doesn't get in the way of enjoying the game. The game feels relatively snappy while aiming and shooting, but your character feels like how a soldier should. Not too fast and super soldier feeling, but you don't also feel like you're stuck in molasses and you're fighting the game. There are 37 guns, some of which you only see during certain sections of the game. You have the staples like the M4, the Beretta, the Deagle, the M249, and the RPG. Some unique ones like the OTS-14, the FAMAS, and the AA-12. My personal being the AA-12, and it appears to have explosive rounds in this game. You'll get to use it a few times in the last quarter of the game, and if you wound enemies without fully killing them, you can walk up to them and execute them, and this animation is sometimes gun dependent. And as the game progresses, Walker becomes more and more unhinged with the executions, and they get more and more brutal. There are also times where the game prompts you to use the environment to your advantage. Usually it's just dropping sand on people, but it can create a cool little set piece. The game between the story beats and the cutscenes tends to be a fight through some linear stages to a hold-off gunfight section, rinse and repeat. And there's nothing wrong with that, especially because the gameplay is fine, and you're probably going to be too immersed into the story to notice. But the gameplay variety isn't too great, with the only breakup to normal gameplay being turret sections. Now, I mentioned the loud music earlier, but it feels relevant to bring up again. The music almost acts as a way of empowering the player, an oorah moment and a time to fuck shit up. and it feels like it's purposely meant to clash with the tone of the rest of the game. Almost as if it's meant to signal to us that Walker is disconnecting and depersonalizing so he can shoot these people in a futile attempt to rationalize it as self-defense. After killing a bunch more soldiers and we drop sand on them, the locals are yelling down at us. The locals clearly weren't happy with this picked up on that. This leads to Walker reflecting on what's happening and the situation that caused this.
That all of them?
I think we're clear.
What about the civilians? 33rd get away with any of them?
Yeah, they did.
We need a translator to know they're hurting.
What are they saying now?
These people want us gone.
We should get out of here. Leave these people to grieve.
Yeah, I think that's the least we can do.
You okay, Walker? Been awfully quiet.
Just thinking about our next move.
Want to share your thoughts with the rest of us?
Well, from what we've heard, I'm starting to think the 33rd went to war against itself. Whichever side won, seems they decided to stay here and take over Dubai.
Sounds like a mess.
It is. CIA's been here for God knows how long trying to clean it up.
Long enough to know everything that's going on in the city.
Including what happened to Conrad?
Exactly. We can make contact with the CIA, then we'll find Conrad.
Oh my God.
What's wrong?
I'm picking up something. You guys need to hear it.
Patch it through.
What is your name and designation?
Agent Daniel, CIA.
Good. Why did you and your men come to Dubai, Lieutenant Daniels?
We're looking for survivors.
Okay. Looks like he's telling the truth. We can begin.
That's enough, Lugo.
Yes, sir.
Can you trace the signal's origin?
I already did. It's coming from over there.
We then catch the CIA signal that they think is bait to draw out the 33rd. And at the start of Chapter 5, this game does something really interesting. It plays with verticality. Look, we look like we're on a highway, and then we jump down a hole, and suddenly we see we're 50 stories up. It helps create this incredibly looking vista out on Dubai. And at the very beginning of this chapter, there's this very interesting exchange.
Off Benson anyway.
Ah, well, fuck that guy.
I'm kidding.
You know, with all the shit going on, I forget how beautiful this place can be.
I feel you.
You know, sometimes at night I'll just come out here and sit. Just listen to the wind.
Yeah. Reminds me of how the wind used to howl through the trees where I grew up. Kind of peaceful, actually.
Hard to believe there's any peace in a place like this, huh?
You gotta look for peace no matter where you are, man. Helps remind you what you're fighting for.
Yeah, true that. Anyway, thanks for the gum. I'm gonna go check upstairs.
Anytime.
This interaction is fairly humanizing for the Op4. It almost makes you think, are we the baddies?
Guys, what if we're the bad guy?
We cross more rooftops, finding another room where the sound is overwhelming. They introduce a new enemy which just runs at you with knives, almost kind of looking like Robert De Niro from Taxi Driver. This eventually leads to this over-the-top fall that I don't fully understand how Walker survived, considering how grounded this game has been otherwise.
Shit! Son of a bitch! Shit!
Ow.
And I mean, like, upon rewatching it back, I know he hooks onto the pole of the building, but I still feel like that fall would have snapped his neck anyways. He gets knocked out and wakes up an hour later alone and surrounded by the 33rd. This is when I was kind of forced to use the shotty for the first time, and damn, it's visceral blowing heads up. Your squad quickly regroups with you and you push further through the enemy camp, stumbling onto more bodies, but they aren't military this time, they're civilians. And we hear more torture going on over the radio as we're forced to walk through this scene, and you can find an intel log of a torturee. How he tried his hardest not to break until fire was brought out.
Thought I'd make it the whole way without screaming. Hacked my way through the sandboarding. Even bit my tongue when they brought out the knives. But the fire... Damn it. I screamed like you wouldn't believe. I'm disappointed. But at least now I understand the breaking. Once my flesh started melting, I'd have thrown my own mother under a bus just to make it stop. Every insurgent brought before me will know the same pain. And when they break, we will be like brothers, having stared down death and flinched.
They went to pretty extreme lengths to interrogate people, and Adams acknowledges Walker might have been right about the situation and that it was a 33rd Civil War. We come to another scene of a body hung up with a speaker in his mouth, and it's a little grotesque how they've left the dead. This is also the first time the radio man makes contact with us directly. He is confused by our presence, and Gould finds us and tries to help us, and for the first time an ally is in this city, and it's a CIA operative, not the 33rd. Agent Gould says we need to follow what he says to make it out, and eventually we're ambushed by a helicopter, and you have the radio man being obnoxious in your ear, which seems to honestly be completely in character for him.
Stairs! On the right!
We narrowly escape the helicopter, and we skip forward to nighttime, and Adam's leg is wounded. Adams goes,
You can walk, but it's gonna hurt. You want morphine?
Nah. I'm gonna keep my head clear.
Okay.
which is honestly a badass response. It also shows how the squad generally cares about each other still, and wants each other to be okay. Adam says, I think it's time we get out, and Walker rejects that notion, saying we need to go further and work with the CIA. Adams doesn't like this idea, and Walker says,
We got 8 miles of open desert between us and the storm wall. Helos would cut us down before we took 10 steps.
And work with the CIA. Adams doesn't like this idea, and Walker says,
We have no choice. You've seen what's become of the 33rd.
Captain's right. The damned are out of control. Someone's got to stop them.
I know. But can we trust him?
Gould risked his life to save ours. He's earned my trust.
What about Conrad?
This isn't just about finding Conrad anymore. It's about doing what's right.
And Lugo and Adam switch side in this exchange, with Lugo saying that someone needs to bring down the 33rd and bring them under control. This comment is extremely telling to Walker's mindset at this point. I'm going to note specific wording. It's about doing what's right. This next chapter introduces us to the 416 for the first time, and it's interestingly configured in a way to be like a DMR. It's single shot, when this bad boy can go full auto with 30 and 60 mags, and we find it with like a 10 round mag. We find the 33rd mid-battle with Gould and the CIA. Stumble upon more bodies, and Lugo makes a side comment about it being a sign of a revolution, and Adams correctly points out that both sides are just trying to kill Dubai faster. We stumble upon a bunch of soldiers hung up from the light poles, and they are over top of more soldiers, begging the question, were these guys deserters or traitors, or is it the damn 33rd? We eventually find a tape from the radio man that acts as a little audio log. He talks about the storm and how it would destroy your skin from the friction, and the only ones left are down to skin and bones. Painting the picture of post-Dubai is just awful.
Flying through the air at 80 miles an hour. It will shatter glass, tear your flesh, and fill your lungs. Even those of us still alive have been stripped down to our bones. We got nothing but the clothes on our back, man. What water's left, the 33rd has under lock and key. A couple civilians tried to stage a raid on the cantina last night. The colonel had them round up and shot. I tried to make myself watch, but I couldn't. They were desperate to live, man. But if they'd succeeded, others would have died. I mean, I don't know what it feels like to execute people you swore to protect. But Conrad sure does. And he's not talking to anyone at the moment.
Some of the refugees tried to get some water that the 33rd had under lock and key, and they were executed. The radio man tried to watch but couldn't, and he notes that they were just trying to survive. But if they had succeeded, more people would have died. And that kind of just seems to be the underlying theme of what happened after the Dubai storm. It was save who you could, and if you tried to take more than allotted, you are a danger to others. Conrad started secluding himself after this. We move on and note that the CIA fed refugees to the soldiers in an attempt to try to gain something, but it came at a massive loss of life. After leaving this tunnel, we are introduced to one of man's worst weapons that has ever been made, white phosphorus. Also introduced one of the most annoying enemies in the game, the Heavy Soldier, which is just wearing an EOD suit, or the Juggernaut suit from Modern Warfare 3. We move on to hearing an interrogation with Gould, and he is being tortured by the 33rd. So it's either the civilians, or we save the soldier, innocence or intel.
Fair enough. Next.
Slow up. Gotta be smart about this.
Okay, Gould's right there, and I got a clean shot.
You open fire now, the civilians are dead. Does that mean nothing to you?
Begin.
Fuck it. I'm taking the shot.
Wait for your orders, Sergeant.
You, take care of the rest of them.
Yes, sir.
Still have nothing to say, Agent? Maybe if you understood the hell you put these people through. Set them up.
Walker, over here. We've gotta save these civilians.
Now again, spoiler alert, the choice is purely yours. It doesn't change the outcome. But I really do think this is the game trying to test the player and see how they would react in this situation. That's the impact more so than the outcome itself. Lugo tries to resuscitate Gould, saying he has too much shit to answer for. Adams tells him to give him up and that he's dead. Walker found a map which he called Gould's op plan. They then decide that they will put his plan into action since he thought it was worth dying for. I also want to note that this cutscene takes a moment to sit on Gould's body as if to say this is the price being paid for Dubai. The squad is breaking down. Lugo and Adams are done, and they are fighting with each other, frustrated over how the operation has been going.
Not just soldiers and civilians, but Gould. Our best chance of getting out of this hellhole.
Calm down, Lugo. There's nothing we could have done.
Don't tell me to calm down. We got no idea what the fuck we're doing here.
Yeah, you're right. Putting your faith in Gould, you are fucking clueless. Man, I'm through with this shit.
Fuck you! At least I'm doing my job. You're the one who's fine, just sitting back, waiting for things to unfuck themselves.
You think I like watching these people die, huh? You think I won't carry this shit to my fucking grave?
Stand down! Both of you! Stand the fuck down!
The fuck is wrong with you two? We're in the middle of a fucking war zone, and you're fighting in the dirt like a couple of goddamn kids! You are Delta operators. Fucking act like it! All right, then. We good?
Yeah.
Lugo!
Yes, sir.
Good. Now let's keep moving.
The fight they get into feels so real. They are both people pushed to their moral edges, trying to rationalize the decisions that have been made and that have brought them there. And they are still wondering if they are good people. And it takes Walker to tell them that they are Delta operators and to put that shit aside and to just man up and keep it pushing. But honestly, they're both very valid in how they feel. They've been killing innocents, they've been killing their fellow US Marines. But for Walker, this is just all about pushing it into a side and getting to Conrad at any cost. Kind of like another character in this story. We then find ourselves against an overwhelming force of soldiers. a camp of theirs, and there's a white phosphorus mortar nearby. Walker makes the executive decision with Adams to use the mortars, while Lugo is adamantly opposed, saying they should find another way around this. There's always a choice, and Walker goes, there really isn't this time. And Walker aims the mortars, and you can really hear the disdain in Lugo's voice when he says, the mortar is online.
Camera online, sir.
And as you shoot off the mortars, you can see Walker's deadpan, lifeless face reflecting from the screen, showing you the face of a man who's willing to condemn the people to an awful fate. For the uninitiated, white phosphorus most militaries won't use because of how damaging it can be. If exposed to any amount of oxygen, it can ignite. That means if ingested or gets inside of you, when exposed to oxygen, it can catch fire. And there's been examples of doctors working on patients that have had phosphorus inside of them, and then when exposed to oxygen, it just catches a flame. It is an extremely dangerous and extremely inhumane weapon to choose, and it's very much of a choice of a weapon to choose. What I mean by that is that there are substitutes. There are Hellfire missiles, there's munitions by ground forces like small arms, there's mortars, there's tons of different things that a military can use. Yet if they choose to use white phosphorus, they're choosing to inflict a lot of personal damage and a lot of psychological damage. We're then forced to walk through the chaos and wreckage that we have just caused. We can mercy kill the soldiers that are still alive, or we can walk past them and let them suffer. Lugo makes a comment.
This was too much. Stop talking.
What'd you just say? The smoke is toxic. Keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, right.
And this exchange is interesting. Walker is clearly telling him to shut up, and Lugo correctly identifies that, but Adams saves it by telling him not to breathe in the phosphorus. It's just really interesting that you can really see the squad breaking down in real time. You can hear the soldiers begging for help, and we eventually find our way to the worst thing the squad could have found.
Why?
You brought this on yourself.
We were helping.
What? Oh no.
Are those civilians?
Where'd they come from? There's no camp here.
They took him from the nest.
That hotel back at the storm wall? No, those can't be the civvies that got kidnapped. It's not possible.
Yeah, it is. That's why Gould stormed this place. He didn't want the gate. He was trying to rescue his people.
This is your fault, goddammit! Stop right there, Lugo. What it is, he wouldn't listen. Have a choice. He turned us into fucking killers. That's enough, Sergeant. No, I'm talking to him. No.
We need to keep moving.
What?
Reinforcements will be here any second. We need to keep moving.
But Walker, you're not even...
I'm gonna make these bastards pay for what they've done. Now, are you with me or not?
A refugee camp the soldiers were protecting from insurgents. These people did not want to fight or cause any harm, just old men, women, and children. Adams and Lugo start going at each other, and a line is very clearly heard from Lugo. Walker is very clearly disassociating, and he can't take what he's done, and he needs to find a way to rationalize how this isn't his fault, how he was pushed into the actions he took, and how he needs to bring that person in that caused this. And this becomes Conrad. I'm just going to ask something now, openly. How has Conrad made Walker do these things? At this point, even the squad is openly talking back to Walker and questioning his orders openly. Past the white phosphorus incident, there's just this general anger at Walker with Lugo and Adams seem to feel. Like Lugo said, he's made them killers, but they need to keep moving and Walker's going to make those bastards pay.
Are we the baddies?
Of course not. No, you possibly couldn't be in my 7th gen military shooter. We eventually find a conference room with a bunch of bodies executed around a table. These are Conrad's men in command under him, and white phosphorus was used on them. Conrad tells Walker that they led a mutiny. That's why they were executed. They did what they thought was necessary, but he had to make an example. Conrad compliments Walker and tells him that this was purely for survival, and welcome to Dubai. This then leads to our next decision. Who do we save from being strung up on an overpass? Conrad tells us that this is the decisions he has to make every day, and it's a test. Do we choose a man who stole water, or the man who killed his family trying to apprehend the man stealing water, spilling blood that didn't need to be spilled? Who should be saved? What is justice? Adams and Lugo say to leave and not make a choice. Walker says they have us surrounded and we have to make a decision, and I chose to save the civilian, and the snipers backed off. Adams is confused about what Walker is doing and is openly voicing it, and Walker tells him to shut his mouth. He is keeping them alive. We are ambushed again, but a sandstorm saves us, and we take refuge in a pipe. Walker takes the time to try to communicate to Conrad that he is coming for him and he will relieve him of his command. Adams wants to talk about what happened. He's never seen Walker like this, but Walker can't walk away from this. Not until the survivors are safely evacuated. Adams says he trusts them, he just disagrees with them, and we come upon Riggs getting ambushed by the 33rd. And we finally get to use the RPG. After clearing the 33rd out, we get to meet Riggs, and Riggs has a very important line. So now we've gotten a game plan, but we also can guess a motive. Riggs wants to take out the water to cripple the 33rd, and I'll let you guess why.
Excuse me?
Maybe you didn't notice, but we just saved your ass.
Kid's got a mouth, Captain.
Name's Sergeant Lugo, and he's got a point.
Really? So where's Agent Gould?
He didn't make it.
Guess you can't save everyone, huh? I'd say you fellas owe me one.
Typical company bullshit.
You want to hear me out before shooting me down, son?
You got a plan beyond killing everyone you see?
Of course we got a plan.
Go on, Agent. What's your up?
About 400 yards from here is the city's main water facility. We were en route when we got pinned down. My op, Captain, is to get that damn water and cripple the whole damn 33rd.
You really think water's the key?
We're in the desert, kid. Water's the key to everything. Shit.
Frag out!
Take cover!
I can't see!
Just stay down!
I got visual. Is it Riggs? No, it's Delta! Where's the old man?
Right here.
You son of a bitch! You're dead!
We are rudely interrupted by the 33rd, but I will rudely interrupt the flow of the game to pick up this intel, and this one's fairly important to the story. It's Conrad's psych evaluation. This psych evaluation from the CIA is the accurate depiction of Conrad as a person, not the idealized version that Walker has made up in his mind. Adams and Riggs have a little exchange about using the locals.
Classification of moral certitude. More concerning is the way in which Conrad has been lauded as the greatest military leader since Patton. Conrad has internalized these sentiments, and they may now constitute a crucial component of his psyche. It is believed that as Conrad comes under fire for failures in Afghanistan, he will likely go to extreme lengths to internally fortify belief in his reputation. Conrad will begin looking outward to explain his failures while nursing a growing paranoia toward his superiors. It is unknown how Conrad's declining mental faculties will hold up in the face of another public failure.
Riggs retorts that the locals were ready to rise up. Adams says giving them the tools makes it pretty easy. Lugo makes a comment saying the tools to get them killed, and Riggs seems resigned, just saying, "Keep telling yourself that, kid." Almost acting as if the CIA hadn't armed the rebels, this whole thing would have happened anyways. We finally make our way to the water dome, Riggs using the locals for decoys and commenting that they know the meaning of sacrifice, as if the sacrifice they're enduring will benefit them. As we secure the trucks, Adams comments about how he doesn't trust Riggs, and Walker shares this sentiment. Conrad is trying to tell us that he just wants to bury the evidence. This leads to our first time with the AA-12, my love in this game. It's such a cool gun. And once the trucks are secured, Riggs gives us a grenade launcher, has us hop on the side of one of the trucks and defend the convoy. Conrad tells Walker that there will be a price to pay, and he hopes that he's ready to pay it. The locals are throwing rocks at us on our way out, begging us not to take their water, and the 33rd pull out all the stops to attempt to stop us from taking their water as well. And they even bring out the helicopters. Riggs decides that he's not going to make it out with the water and crashes the convoy to avoid the 33rd getting the water back, out of spite and pettiness. While knocked out, Walker has a vision of Conrad walking up to him and telling him that the city only has 4 days and that they will die because of the lack of water and that it is his fault. When we wake up, the first voice we hear on the radio is the radio man telling people how we blew up the water and that Dubai is under martial law. The locals insult us and tell us to leave. They are obviously not very happy with us as we just destroyed any water that's left in Dubai, and people are trying to scrounge any bit of water they can before they die of dehydration. We are forced to walk slowly through this and take it all in. We eventually find our way to Riggs, who is trapped under a truck that is on fire. He asks for a favor, and he wants us to mercy kill him and not let him burn. He justifies what he did by saying that if the Middle East found out what Conrad did in Dubai, they would declare war on the US. Now, as much as we have been complicit in his plan, he deserves to burn for the fate he condemned the rest of the people to. He did not get kindness from me. I also want to note that this is when Walker's appearance changes. He's not in the clean uniform anymore. We finally come in contact with Lugo and Adams. They had to run because the 33rd showed up. And I think it's kind of funny that Walker's surprised Pikachu face that Riggs destroyed the water. Like, it was kind of obvious that the water wasn't going to stick around. Lugo's conversation is interrupted by the radio man tapping in to taunt us. Lugo and Adams are trapped inside a mall with the 33rd keeping them pinned in place, and we have to rush in to try to save them. While we're doing this, radio man gives us his rendition of Cops. At this point, the comms between the squad have become much more chaotic. Lugo is screaming how they are everywhere, not a clear and concise comm about location. They are slowly unwinding, and it comes across in the small details. Radio Man makes a smart comment, and Lugo says he's not the one working for a war criminal.
Over the bridge! Go! 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 They're coming through the skyline!
That's not funny? No? No?
Fuck you! You're the one working for a goddamn war criminal!
No, fuck you. You have no fucking idea what that man had to do. And I do mean, had to do.
He had a choice, just like everyone else.
He's the one to talk. Remember the gate? Huh? Oh, no, I do believe it's Bert, baby.
I get my hands on you. I'm crossing over. Cover me.
And Radio Man takes great offense to this, saying, "You don't know what he had to do." Adams makes a comment that there's always a choice, and Radio reminds him of the white phosphorus incident. Let's just say Lugo didn't take this well. And now suddenly Lugo has some determination, and it's to see that the Radio Man is dead. During this time, you are split up from your squad, and it's one of the few times in this game this happens. When trying to regroup, we run into a room and something unique happens that doesn't happen anywhere else. Your screen just starts going black, as almost if it was in like a reverse strobe light. And I died of my own grenade. When I got back to this part, when the heavy got hurt, the reverse strobe happened again, but it became a mannequin. And I think this is meant to point out that Walker's mental state is very dubious at best. It's also an interesting artistic way to try to portray this. It just plays with the fact that as this game goes on, Walker becomes more and more of an unreliable narrator. After murking a lot more of the 33rd, we take a hostage, a surrendering 33rd.
Drop your fucking weapon! Do it! Okay, now! Okay. Don't shoot. I surrender.
What the hell is this?
Somebody doesn't want to play soldier anymore.
What's your name?
Staff Sergeant Josh Forbes, service number 867530.
You are not a prisoner of war. Far as I'm concerned, you're not even a fucking soldier.
You can?
I can do whatever the fuck I want. Now, the asshole on the radio, where's he broadcasting from?
Don't bother. He's guarded. You'll never reach him.
Our problem, not yours.
There, top of the Transimmerance building.
Lugo, we reached that tower. Think you can work the broadcast system?
One mass evacuation coming up.
Won't be anyone to evacuate.
What the fuck did you say?
Be smart, Captain. This is the desert. How long do you think these people will survive without water? Jesus. All the Colonel wanted was to keep people alive. Remember that.
We'll keep that in mind next time he tries to kill us. Dubai's running out of time, gentlemen. Let's move.
Walker has taken a much darker turn. I can do whatever the fuck I want. I don't consider you a soldier. He has become fully unhinged at this point. Walker still has this delusional belief that he can evacuate the civilians and be the hero. The soldier rightly points out that how will they do this? Walker doesn't like having to confront this realization. Our next move is the DJ. Adams says it's 3 soldiers against a fat ass with an iPod. Lugo says that they should always be prepared, and Adams retorts with the adapt and overcome bitch. Adams is also becoming more and more angry with the situation as we go. We eventually go to the zipline across the buildings and run into a soldier at the end of the zipline. Walker suddenly has a hallucination of Adams begging him to stop. Now, me being the Giga Chad, I just murked the guy because I knew it wasn't Adams. Walker does not take this well though, and Adams, once making it across, goes,
Jesus, what the fuck did you do, Walker?
You go through tons of soldiers protecting the radio man, and as we kill them, he makes some comments.
That guy? You shot that guy? I like that guy. RPG by the dance floor! A dog, maybe? I didn't okay. Well, shit, there goes my fantasy football league. He had a wife and kids!
You can breathe easy.
Oh,
That's all of it.
Please, think of the children.
Before we get to his cutscene though, I want to take a moment to talk more about him, because I've mostly left him ignored up until this point. Before the storm, he was just a war reporter. He was given this weak, timid voice direction, but by the time we see him after the storm, he's embraced this big personality, kind of like the character that just goes, "Good morning, Vietnam!" Almost as if he's embraced this part of the chaos, and trying to make things better in any way that he can. Lugo is impressed with his technical skills and the radio system he scrapped together. While asking him questions about how far it reaches, which was all the way to the storm wall, after Radio Man answers, Lugo thinks this is the perfect time to let out some rage, and he executes the Radio Man.
Man, give it a shot.
Wow, that was easier than I expected. Thanks. Get the fuck off me, man!
Have you lost your fucking mind?
Are you really this fucking naive? He kept the 33rd on our ass this whole time! He wasn't gonna let us just walk out of here! I did what was necessary!
You don't get to make that call!
Well, fuck you! I just did.
That's enough! We'll deal with this later. To anyone who can hear me, I'm the commander of an American evacuation force. We're here to rescue you. But first, the 33rd will pay for what they've done.
I'm disappointed in you, Walker. No one leaves Dubai. I tried. 1,300 men, women, children dead because of my arrogance. And now you want to finish off the rest? If you will not learn from my mistakes, then there's nothing more I can do. Your butcher's bill is high enough.
Adams reprimands Lugo, saying he isn't the one to make that call. Well, to be fair to Lugo, neither was Walker been the one to make some of his calls, but he has. Conrad calls Walker to tell him he is following the same path his arrogance led him, that he is no better, and that he has condemned the rest of Dubai to death. This then leads to the opening sequence with the helicopter turret section, but there's an interesting part this time. Walker is having deja vu. It's like he almost remembers this happening before.
Wait, this isn't right!
Well, it's too late now!
No, I mean, we did this already!
What do you mean?
Fuck it! It's nothing! Just shake these fucking guys!
You got it!
Something I thought about saving until the end, but I decided I'm going to point out now, is that every time there's been a white flash, especially before or after a cutscene, that's a sign of Walker hallucinating or having a little PTSD nightmare. And this has been confirmed by a dev. So I'm going to raise a question. Did Walker die in the opening and this is his purgatory? Constantly reliving this hellish nightmare for the sins he committed? Or is it just deja vu and he's just having a memory or a dream of something similar happening? Now that we got the trope out of the way and the helicopter is crashed, Conrad speaks to Walker in his unconscious state, and he's trying to show Walker the consequences of his actions. He was ordered to abandon Dubai, but he damned himself. This is his subconscious trying to undo all the mental gymnastics he's had to do to attempt to keep his sanity. Once we come to our senses, we are awoken to Adams calling us for help. He has not heard from Lugo since the crash. Walker at this point is rugged, you can hear it in his voice. Walker wildly still thinks he can save the people of Dubai.
We need to find Lugo, then we take care of Conrad. I think we can still save these people, and I'm not gonna let him stand in our way.
Right, because that plan's worked out great so far.
Wasn't asking your opinion, Lieutenant.
We finally get a hold of Lugo, and he is in dire straits.
Walker, Adams, where the hell are you guys? I'm pinned down in Conrad's backyard. I got no weapon, and my fucking arms broke.
Lugo! Lugo! Fuck, I lost him.
Signal puts him somewhere north of here.
After fighting through more men, we get an update on Lugo.
Fucking hell! That's all of them. Walker, Adams, you guys still out there?
We read you, Lugo.
Oh, thank fucking Christ.
Where are you now?
Holed up in some half-buried yacht. The one with the pissed-off soldiers swarming around it. You can't miss it.
All right, keep out of sight. I'm coming to get you.
Gotta move, Walker.
As we get closer and closer, Lugo's situation deteriorates more and more, and he mistakenly tries to take refuge in the refugee camp, the people they just condemned to death. Now, maybe this isn't the best time, but Adam chooses this as a time to reflect on some of their actions.
Not sure he's gonna pull through this.
It's a fucking broken arm. We both lived through worse.
You know damn well that's not what I'm talking about.
If there's something on your mind, why don't you say it already so we can get back to work?
This whole mission is fucked. We just took out a tower full of American troops.
They didn't leave us any choice.
You didn't leave us any choice. What the fuck happened to us, man?
Nothing. We're fucking soldiers.
Oh, I see. My mistake. It's all right.
You feel better
We
now?
clear out all of the 33rd, but Lugo's time is running out.
Adams! Adams! Oh, shit!
Lugo, what's happening?
Fuck! I need help! They're closing in! Oh, shit!
Talk to us, Lugo.
Get the fuck! Just stay the fuck away from me! Get back! Get the fuck back!
Lugo to me in this game is probably my favorite character, so there was some urgency for me to rush to him. I really wanted to save Lugo. He truly seems like a good man in a shitty situation.
Get ready.
The roof, Buck!
Shoot the roof! Everyone back now! Come on, Lugo. Get your ass up!
You heard him! Back up, right now! I said back the fuck up! Hurry up, Walker!
Breathe, Lugo!
They ain't taking the hit!
God damn it, breathe!
How's he doing? Answer me, Walker!
Come on, Lugo!
Is he breathing? Move back, or I will open fire!
Damn it!
These assholes ain't stopping, Walker! They're boxing us in!
Damn it, Lugo!
You better fucking pray he makes it. Let me take him, Walker. Sir, permission to open fire. I need you to give the word. Walker, give me the fucking word.
As we are closing in, we hear this and come upon Lugo hung up and dead. We try everything to resuscitate Lugo, but he's gone. Then this leads to one of the hardest decisions in the game. There are 3 options, and one is an option you wouldn't think would be in the game. This is to shoot in the air to disperse the crowd. The 2 most would try to do though is shooting into the crowd, and honestly this seems like the reaction that would happen most often, and the third is to not do anything until you are forced to defend yourself. At the end of the day, you're still killing more civilians that you wanted to save, with the other 2 options.
If you're listening, Colonel, here's what happens now. I'm gonna kill every last one of your men, and then I'm gonna kill you. Sergeant Lugo is dead. For that, I will give no quarter. You brought this on yourself. You okay?
Do I look okay to you?
What happened to Lugo isn't our fault.
Don't tell me what I already know. Lugo's blood is on your hands, not mine. Bang.
Conrad deserves to die, you know that.
And what do we deserve?
I think we both know the answer to that.
Going into the final chapter, Adams and Walker are having a heart-to-heart. Adam seems fully resigned to not making it out at this point. He has a completely guilty conscience, and he wouldn't be able to handle making it out alive after what he has seen and done. They are on an extermination mission at this point, themselves being optional to that extermination. The whole city has fallen, and the 33 is quaking in their boots about Delta Squad. Well, what's left? The 33rd decided to use phosphorus on us again, and this sends Walker into a PTSD nightmare. Now, after this whole section, another weird occurrence happens, and it happens with another heavy. When it first showed up, it was Lugo, and he kept talking about how he was left to die. I accidentally threw a frag and killed myself, but when I came back, it was just a normal heavy. But also, Walker came back like he slipped out of another PTSD dream, like the helicopter thing. It's these little events during the story that point to a much more intentional story, and things that were intentionally added to add to the story. I didn't get this on my first playthrough. I killed him and continued on. So I just didn't know that there was times where Walker dies and acts like he hallucinated it. When walking towards Conrad's penthouse, we find Conrad's final order.
I don't need to remind you of the events which have led us here. We are each branded by our actions, for good or ill. Yes, there is darkness to come, but take heart, for the storm will soon break. There will be chaos in the coming days. As your commander, I know you will persevere. You are the damn 33rd. It's been the greatest honor of my life to serve alongside you. That is why I can trust you with this final order. No matter what, endure. Be ever vigilant. Hold the line.
Now, if you haven't caught on by this point, this final order has an important implication and should put the final piece into place, but I will wait until Walker reaches this conclusion. They get surrounded and Adams takes his final stand. Adams understands that the mission is over and he failed. He gives his life fighting off what's left of the 33rd to try to give Walker time to run towards Conrad's tower. Now we have finally reached the end of the line. Spec Ops, the line. Sorry, I had to do the stupid joke. We've made it to Conrad's tower, and this is the last section of the game, and it's just walking. Walker is greeted by what's left of the 33rd, and they give us command. We then ride the elevator up to Conrad's penthouse. Now, I just want to take this time while riding the elevator up to make a little background note, take some little notes that I forgot to record earlier. So, there's a time in which you pick up a collectible, and it's from the radio guy, which he died a while ago. I just think it's relevant for character building to show this, because I think it's a pretty cool piece of collectible that you can find.
Family butchered. They live in hell. And yet, they still take time to smell the dying roses. I get why the Colonel does what he does. But if these people can still muster enough soul to create art, maybe there's more than he sees. I've been thinking a lot about Murrow, broadcasting out of Blitz, London. He helped people. He showed him something that the Nazis couldn't flatten. That truck out front has an old CB. If just maybe I could put my hands on some speakers, wouldn't that be something?
I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of cool to see where he came from. You know, we get the villain throughout the whole game, but it's kind of cool to see the innocent character he was. And a lot of the collectibles you can find are missable. They do make some of them pretty obvious. But then there's another one like the Code of Conduct. The collectibles do a lot of great world building, and they're really, really worthwhile to try to find.
As an occupying force, it is important to set a good example. As such, please keep in mind the following protocols. Grooming standards are to be kept at all times. No fraternization with civilians of any kind. When off duty, please keep music, etc. at a reasonable volume, so as not to disturb the local population. Absolutely no drugs or stimulants except as provided by medical personnel. Alcohol restricted to 1 beer per soldier per day, with a meal as available. share time on the putting green, or access will be revoked. Each offense will warrant 5 demerits. 5 demerits receives an official warning. 10, 2 weeks hard labor. 15, public flogging. Looting and excessive force are not tolerated and will be met with the strictest punitive measures.
We'll let you watch the final cutscene though, and then I'll get back to you guys after it's played out.
No matter how hard I tried, I never could escape the reality of what happened here. That was my downfall. There, finished. I hope you like it.
What the hell is going on?
Your eyes are opening for the first time. It hurts, doesn't it? Go on. What do you think?
You did this.
No, you did. Your orders killed 47 innocent people. Someone has to pay for your crimes, Walker. Who's it going to be?
John? Is that you?
You tell me.
I'm done playing games, John.
I assure you, this is no game. It seems that reports of my survival have been greatly exaggerated.
This isn't possible.
Oh, I assure you, it is.
How?
Not how. Why? You were never meant to come here.
We have our orders. Leave the city, radio command from outside the storm wall. They send in the cavalry, we go home. What happened here was out of my control.
Was it? None of this would have happened if you just stopped. But on you marched. And for what?
We tried to save you.
You're no savior. Your talents lie elsewhere.
This is your fault, goddammit!
Stop right there, Lugo.
He wouldn't listen!
We didn't have a choice!
He turned us into fucking killers!
This isn't my fault.
It takes a strong man to deny what's right in front of him. And if the truth is undeniable, you create your own.
What the hell happened?
I don't know, he just stopped moving.
Walker, snap out of it!
I get it. We have to choose.
The truth, Walker, is that you're here because you wanted to feel like something you're not. A hero.
Hugo! You left me to die!
I'm here because you can't accept what you've done. It broke you.
Colonel? Colonel, please.
What's going on, Walker?
It's Conrad. He did it. All of it.
You needed someone to blame, so you cast it on me. A dead man. I know the truth is hard to hear, Walker, but it's time. You're all that's left, and we can't live this lie forever. I'm going to count to 5, then I'm pulling the trigger.
Not real. This is all in my head.
Are you sure? Maybe it's in mine. 1.
No. Everything.
All this. It was your fault. If that's what you believe, then shoot me. 2.
I didn't mean to hurt anybody.
No one ever does, Walker. 3. war. Is this really what you want, Walker? So be it. 5!
Colonel John Conrad, United States Army. Evacuation of Dubai ended in complete failure. Death toll, too many.
I believe what we see in the tower and everything leading up to the final cutscene to be in Walker's head. Remember, he just lost his squad and is certainly in the throes of PTSD. That's how the story ends, or can end, and if you want me to be honest, I think this ending is the most likely. Walker would be a man once confronted with the realities of what he had done, and the lies he chose to believe to make it so he was okay to do so. Once that crumbled, he would end up like Adams, unable to live with himself and have to go out on his own terms. Like Conrad had said, none of what happened needed to. It wasn't their orders. Their orders were to locate the survivors, exfil past the storm wall, and radio for evac, and go home. Everything past finding those dead 33rd was all Walker's choice. But there are 3 more endings. So what happens if you shoot Conrad?
It takes a strong man to deny what he felt. Stronger than you were. Whatever you say, Walker. No matter what happens next, don't be too hard on yourself. Even now, for all you've done, you can still go home. Lucky you.
What now, sir?
Huh?
The men are asking. What do we do now?
We complete our mission.
And what mission would that be, sir?
Just get me a goddamn radio. This is Captain Martin Walker, requesting immediate evacuation of Dubai. Survivors. 1 too many.
I would say this is Walker not in acceptance, but he isn't denying what he did to himself anymore. Cut forward to him getting rescued. Now, here's where the 3 endings lie, and they play out very differently. And I'll show you them in a certain order. I will dub these Going Home, Die Fighting, and Kill Them All. They all start the same, so I'm just going to show the intro once.
Commander, this is Falcon 1. I think we found him. Captain Walker.
He's armed!
It's okay. Hold your fire.
I don't understand. What's he doing? Look at his eyes. Something's not right.
Captain Walker, we are here to help. But first, I need you to lay down your weapon.
He's not complying.
He's shell-shocked. Give him a second. Just hand me your weapon, Captain. We're here to take you home.
It's over. Time to go home.
We drove through this whole city to find you. We saw things. You don't mind me asking, what was it like? How'd you survive all this?
Who said I did?
Walker has clearly fallen into himself. He didn't survive, as he said, and he will just probably end up being a homeless vet on the streets, and end up following the ending where he shoots himself. Walker wanted to save people, and he ended up killing them all. And the second ending, I think, is the most likely that would happen.
Remember back in Kabul, John? Before things got bad? We were talking. About nothing, really. I said something about going home, and you said...
Home? We can't go home. There is a line men like us have to cross. If we're lucky, we do what's necessary and then we die. No, all I really want, Captain, is peace.
I personally see this as the same as the first ending that I showed, just he forced the other soldiers to kill him, and he didn't take his own way out. Walker wanted peace, but he knew he wouldn't have it in life, so he chose death. The third ending, which I personally choose to believe as like a what-if power fantasy idea of Walker, it ends up being a lone man here to now hold the city under his domain, a city of death.
Falcon 1, this is command. Do you copy? We heard shots. Is everything okay? Sergeant Roberts, what is going on?
Gentlemen, welcome to Dubai.
All of the outcomes are fairly bleak, but does Walker deserve the ending he wanted? Does he deserve the sunshine and rainbows that he wanted? Honestly, no. Now up until the white phosphorus event, a lot of it could have been forgiven, chopped up to circumstance. Shit happens. But past is when a line was crossed. He was a murderer. He made his squad killers, and the rest of the city had to burn with him. There were tons of twists and turns, some more predictable, some more or less shocking, but all the same leads down an interesting story that's incredibly subversive for the game you would have expected from at this time. This game deserves the cult following it has because for the ball knowers, they know it's a great story that deserves at least a couple of playthroughs to see some different outcomes and maybe catch some new combat dialogue. If you have made it this far, thank you. It really helps as the watch time helps a lot in the algorithm, and this is my longest video yet. If you want more videos like this, subscribe. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and tell me any of your thoughts on the video or Spec Ops to the line. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.